1 year has passed since we last celebrated International Market Research Day. A year since we experienced a tectonic disruption in all our lives. It has been hard for every person and every business. It continues to be difficult for many of us. But in hardship, we see a silver lining and glimmers of hope. 1 year wiser, we now understand this virus, and through its effects, ourselves better. Separation and isolation have made us value human connections more. Working from home has made us resilient. We have innovated to achieve our goals. We are getting there, but not yet. We must still persevere. We learn to compensate through our digital ingenuity. Insights has been there all the way, teaching us to measure and anticipate the shifts across all sectors of our economies. The rush to e-commerce, the turning upside down of business models, Insights has been there. As we rediscover our surroundings, teaching us about our capacity for solidarity, showing us the way in shifting to greener, healthier forms of transportation, and supported decision makers to make bold choices they were too scared to make before. Insights has helped us to understand the mental impact of COVID-19 measures, to demonstrate how young and old could overcome the pain of separation, guided governments to communicate better. Although some things worked out for the better, we still have a lot to achieve. We are experts in finding ways to protect, but now it is time to act. Let's build a better future together through Insights. Let's celebrate the International Market Research Day from the 3rd till the 7th of May.
What do people really think of your brand? Are they even aware you exist? Surveymonkey Brand Tracker measures your brand performance over time, giving you insights at the speed your market is moving. We'll help you launch with the right metrics, competitors, and target audience. AI-powered insights instantly show you changes to important metrics, and custom dashboards make it easy to share relevant data. Get the insights you need to evolve and grow your brand today with Surveymonkey Brand Tracker.
Good morning to anyone who's attending from the European time zone. And indeed, if you're in the Americas watching this, then really you should be in bed and not be up watching the screen. But nonetheless, a very warm welcome to you too, if you've joined us for this special session, which rounds off International Market Research Day and the week of celebrations that we have had. Now, before I say anything really, I'd like to extend you all apologies from our president, Kristen Luck, who, as you know, at the last session was able to get up at an ungodly hour of the day to say a few words to you. But sadly, this time she's been traveling across so many time zones that it was just impossible for her to join us today. But nonetheless, we have a fantastic lineup of other people to say a few words to you this morning as we round off this amazing week. And I certainly hope that all of you have had a chance to attend some of the sessions over the course of the past 5 days. Now, Asia Pacific as a component part of the global market research sector, I think represents somewhere between 10 and 12% of all the value that's in the sector as we track it. But over the course of the past week, APAC has represented almost 25% of all of the contributions that we saw and that we shared with all of our research counterparts across the world. So I'd like to say a huge thank you to everyone in the region that has contributed, and a particular perhaps a special word of mention goes to TRS and Australia, who ran their conference as part of the celebrations and referenced the celebrations in that, to India, who ran a number of events, as well as, of course, all of the other countries that organized events, some of which were particularly poignant, I think, but also relevant and provocative for us in order to ensure that we can continue to lead the way in building that better future. So, in many ways, as a program recently on COVID said, somebody from China said about the rest of the world, why didn't they learn from us? Why didn't we learn from Asia? Well, we're certainly keen to. So on that note, perhaps, let me now ask John Smurthwaite, our regional ambassador for Asia Pacific, to take over the microphone and perhaps give you a review of what's been happening over the week. So John, if I can hand over to you, love to hear from you.
Sure. Thank you, Finn. Well, this time yesterday, I was at home, and we had such a huge storm, and the power and internet had been down for the last 24 hours. So I've migrated to a Kantar office where there are 100 vacant seats. Nobody around. It's just amazing, nobody here. Nevertheless, I've got my mask because it is compulsory to wear the mask even in an empty office. And the police make checks every now and then. So I've got it at my ready. So what I'd like to cover today really is congratulations and thanks to all the people that I've been involved with in the Esomar and associations of the world, but particularly, of course, for our associations in Asia Pacific. But let me start first with the congratulations. This has been an extraordinary week, there's no doubt. And congratulations go to Finn, Dominic, and Kim, and Alfonso, and Rihan, and Angela, and I'm sure I've left some people out. But and Vincent, of course. Never forget Vincent, who puts it all together. So congratulations on putting all of this together. It's just been a marvelous week. But before I say anything about the actual details of IMRD, I'd like to give a big round of thanks to the associations that have done so much. Sorry, is my video feed off? Oh, okay. To the associations who have done so much this year and in past years. One of the things that, of course, we do, and organized by Kim and Dominique, is have a regular get-together with associations as a global event. And I'm proud to say that Asia Pacific, very high level of participation from our region, despite the fact that often these sessions are very, very late at night. I think the New Zealand is a hit around about midnight, and Australia just a little bit earlier. So associations, thank you very much for joining in those very important meetings that we have at the global level. I want to also extend a big thank you to the associations who help with the GMR, the Global Market Research Report, with associations putting in a huge effort. We have a great report each year. It's a huge effort indeed, and we're right in the middle of it now. So please, everybody get their details in, their data in the next few weeks. So thank you there. Another thank you is to the associations in advance, because we're about to conduct the pricing study across the world, and we will again need your help, all the associations, to help us fill in the details, get all the agencies in the region to fill in the details to help us with a very important pricing study. I mean, the pricing study is so important because it gives everybody an indication of competitive prices, not in their own country, but of course at the global level. So very, very important, of course, for international researchers. Again, another thank you for another survey that's going to the survey on the client side. So thank you to the associations for helping with that, and of course also the SMR representatives for helping in that. The next thank you is for those who participated in the Esomar signature event so far. As you're all aware, we had one in March, which was the Trust and Transformation, and we're about to go ahead with the next signature event, which of course is Vision and Values. So thank you to the speakers from Asia Pacific, but also very important, thank you to those who have helped Rhiannon and others program together. It's quite a big job being on the committee, advising who should be the speakers and reading all the papers. So a big thank you there. Now, I think this is our third IMRD. And if I go back to 3 years, it was a fairly simple event. And for us in Asia Pacific, we participated. In fact, Asia Pacific's been participating heavily over the last 3 years. But in the first event, there weren't many webinars and not that much detail, except a lot on social media and mainstream media, where we made quite a big noise. In the second year, of course, huge expansion and lots of involvement, lots of webinars across Asia Pacific, Indonesia, Singapore, Thailand, India, and a number of others. And this year, of course, there's been absolute explosion. And our International Market Research Day, of course, has gone into International Market Research Week. And I think there's enough material this week for us to have International Market Research Month next year. So it's just been extraordinary, the amount of and detail that we've got this year. So let me just run through, please, some of the events that we've had this week. We kicked off in Asia Pacific with Malaysia and Thailand. Malaysia and Thailand had a joint event, and what we had there was the CEO from Nielsen Malaysia, Luca Denard, being interviewed by the regional director for data science, Camila Vasquez. And they were very much on target with the theme, building a better future together through insights. And that was a very well-received event. On Tuesday, Hong Kong then took over. They had Is There a Balance, reflecting on the diversity in our profession, and especially regarding women, with suggestions on the way forward. I think Christian would have loved that session, seeing she's so involved with women in research. India then took over later in the day with two sessions entitled The New Quantitative Playbook, dealing with and understanding the latest technological advances in the new normal. And so that was a busy day, but it got busier on Wednesday. In Australia, they had the Research Society at a conference, and they highlighted the fact that this was International Market Research Day. India then came back again with 3 presentations, which was quite remarkable, again on the theme of building a better future. So it got busier on Thursday. It was another very big day. Of course, the key event that day was the sponsored Qualtrics event. I understand, I haven't seen the latest figures, but there were something like over 300 registrations. Now, most of the associations in the region, if they didn't have their own event, they were using this as their big event for IMRD. So they were very happy, actually, to be able to ride on Qualtrics in that case. And that's why I think we got such a big number of registrations. Again, India had some more papers, 3 more papers on that day, along with Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka had a panel discussion, marketing in the engagement economy. I also need to mention China. China is actually on holidays all this week. It's the May Day holiday, which extends for a whole week. So they picked up our idea. One day's become a week event. So they weren't able to participate in detail this year, but did produce a wonderful video which it's available, I think, on YouTube. So I believe that Vincent might be playing a little bit of that later in this session. So again, a wonderful one. Yeah, I just have to mention also it was Japan didn't join us this year because it was Golden Week. And just as you know, everything just shuts down in Golden Week. Just thinking again about China, one of the things that they've done brilliantly this year, this is not the association, but it's Esomar. They have a WeChat group, and they have 70 or 80 of their members on the WeChat group. And it's a very, very busy group. Lots of information flowing around the region, around China. Then the next country, Singapore, they actually were due to speak this week, but the speaker, unfortunately, had to postpone the event. So they're doing their International Market Research Day next week on the 12th. And AMSRO Australia, they already had the Research Got Talent event organized, and they combined that with IMRD, even though that wasn't projected to everybody. It was an internal event. So that's I'm very pleased that Asia Pacific has contributed so much this year. And one of the things I believe about Asia Pacific, and I think Finn has said this before and others have said this before, we feel very much a cohesive group. Those countries in Asia Pacific very much feel as they're part of the region. They're very keen to be involved with each other. They're very keen to know what's going on with each other and to assist each other. So during the last year, when countries have had their own events, webinars, and annual conferences online, they've shared all of that with the other countries. In particular, Indonesia has done that, Singapore has done that, Thailand, India, Malaysia. So when there's an event, what they do is ask me to spread the word across all the other countries. So we market their event in all of the other countries. So there's very much a sharing culture. And what I'm going to be telling everybody, and as I catch up with them, is please look at all of the data and events and information that is online from this week and start sharing that back to your association members. And in particular, the videos are just such a hit. I played the opening video. In Malaysia, we had the annual AGM Tuesday, and I played that as the opener for our AGM. And of course, it went over so well. Everybody wants a copy. So just to wind up, I hope this year's IMRD has reached one of the objectives of providing not only awareness of our profession, but also strengthening the cohesion and belief and confidence in our profession. And with that, I say a very big congratulations to the team and a big thank you to all of those in Asia Pacific who have participated. Thank you very much. Back to you, Finn.
Thank you, John. And indeed, let me just echo John's words of thanks, if you like, to everyone who has contributed. But also, and I think, not to spare his blushes too much either, big thanks to John, who is in essence our lifeblood into the Asia Pacific community and who does so much for Esomar in ensuring that the initiatives that are either born out of the countries there or that are being suggested from other parts of the world can either be realized or refined for the region. So John, a big thank you to you too for all of your work. Now, before I hand over to Jenna, the president of Tuad, who has been fundamental in creating IMRD Day, I'd like maybe just to pick up on one of the elements that John mentioned.
My pleasure, thank you.
I'd like to pick up on one of the things that John said, which was the global nature of our business. And I think perhaps nothing celebrates that or perhaps underlines it more than a video that was produced by the QRCA, the Qualitative Researchers Association in the US. So if you bear with me, and before I invite Yenna to the microphone, let's just take a look at this video, which I think just underlines what a fabulous community we are globally and how much we have to be promoting ourselves and shouting out loud about it. So let's play that video now, and you can have a quick look at that. And I'll be back to you just after it.
Welcome to QRCA's IMRD 2021 video, where QRCA members in their roles as Insight professionals share what this year's IMRD theme, Building a Better Future Through Insights, means to them. I'm Susan Fader, and I'm QRCA's liaison to Esomar, and I'm also a 20-plus year member of both Esomar and QRCA. QRCA is the world's largest organization of qualitative researchers and has members in over 37 countries. Our qualitative researcher membership includes UX researchers, customer experience researchers, sociologists, ethnographers, social media experts, and of course, people who call themselves qualis or qualitative researchers. So now let's go around the world and hear from some of our QRCA members.
Hamjambo wenzangu.
Hola, me llamo Natalia Infante Kaler.
大家好，我是 Rachel， 来自中国上海。
Olá, sou Mônica Dale do Brasil.
I'm a qualitative researcher and owner of focus groups in the United States.
Dobrý den, já jsem Hanka Kloučková.
Bună, sunt Oana. I'm a qualitative researcher from Romania. When most of our resources go into technology development, we need to maintain the balance and we need to keep the progress in what understanding the human mind is. And this is where the world of insights can build this bridge between the science of the mind, the scientific understanding of the mind, and the rest of the society that needs to be exposed to that. And we do this by creating these compelling narratives about humans, about how they work, and about what they actually need.
I think we build a better future when we go beyond studying markets and delivering PowerPoints. We need to study our clients. How do they truly operate? What are the stories that they tell? Ultimately, I think we have to help our client partners be better leaders.
I believe qualitative research is the key to humanity's evolutionary process. The only way to understand another's lived reality is to see it from the point of view of that individual. Qualitative researchers are conduits. We allow people to lead the conversation, we amplify their voices, and we lay out critical organizational opportunities. Business impact leads to social impact, and we see a gradual societal shift, an evolution beyond us versus them.
Just like legal, Africa is built upon different pieces. There is a diversity of cultures, nuances, styles, language, and human dynamics. All this without a clear understanding may look chaotic, but through insights, the seemingly chaotic starts to make sense and opens up an ocean of opportunities.
For the last few years, I've been publicly advocating for involving people with disabilities in quantitative and qualitative research to bring voices we often discard as edge cases to the forefront of decision-making processes. Listening to people with disabilities is an essential part of inclusive design, because something that solves a problem for people with a disability will also make those same products and services better for able members of perceived target markets.
Building a better future of insights will happen when companies and brands start to incorporate multicultural approaches to research as a natural process in all of their research projects instead of special projects only. A multiculturalism approach will help them stay competitive and profitable in a fast-changing world.
I believe a better future is with happy people and happy planet. Insights is to elevate business and individuals to serve people and the earth more precisely. Insights help us to understand others, it breaks the barriers and builds the empathy. A better future starts from the moment we are willing to pull down social tax, to open up our ears and our heart.
Our world is changing right before our eyes in so many ways. And that's why the role of insights is even more important to brands and businesses today than ever before. As consumer demographics, preferences, attitudes, and beliefs continue to evolve, so must our approach to conducting research. This is especially true as it relates to reaching BIPOC consumers who are Black, Indigenous, and people of color. It is critical that we give these consumers a voice in rooms where brand decisions are made. It is especially rewarding to highlight the voices of BIPOC consumers who are often misunderstood or even marginalized, or sometimes an afterthought as it relates to brand planning.
Our secret weapon is knowing how to listen. Listening for us qualitative researchers is so important because it makes us empathetic. That's particularly important in my field. Healthcare workers, patients, caregivers pour out their hearts in interviews. And when we listen carefully, we will know when we hear their truths.
And having moved nearly all of our qualitative research online, many clients are starting to come back and talk about in-person research. They're telling me that while online research was a lifesaver, there are many nuances that you get from in-person research, such as the dynamics of full body language, kind of seeing the whole person and not just the head. And also with in-person, you are more likely to get the person's full engagement, especially in a group discussion format. And that's ultimately we're able to deliver better insights to build a better future.
We have people with different perspectives and really need to incorporate all the voices. LGBT, Black people, older people, people from all parts of the country, people from all social classes. All those voices should be included for us to reshape the world and create a better and more inclusive future.
I aim to find a human interest story in every interview I conduct because it's a reminder that the products and services we're asked to talk about have to be geared towards what real people want and need. By deeply understanding the context of their lives, we can build a better future through insights.
Well, for me, the COVID has been an impetus for researchers to use technology to reinvent the way of searching for deeper consumer insights. For example, we did a research with kids who were about to leave the orphanage setting. And the fact is that the online interviews helped to provide a certain shield of anonymity for them so that we were able to get into really deep insights and help them to address the problems which they are facing.
Video is an integral part of building a better future through insights. At every phase, video enables us to reach out to respondents that we wouldn't normally be able to and still connect with them on a human level. It also helps us potentially keep costs down so we can reach more people or add more elements to our research. When it comes to delivering our insights, video is an incredible way to not only preserve the findings because people now have a palatable, entertaining, easy to pass around video, it also keeps the respondent and the humans that we're interacting with directly tied to the insight.
Thank you for watching QRCA's International Market Research Day 2021 video. As researchers, we are more equipped than ever to gather insights in the right way, the smart way, the human way. And when we expand our universe of the people we interact with and talk to, we will be able to build a better future through insights.
So my very grateful thanks to Kelly and to Susan and to the entire team at QRCA, as well as to each and every one of the researchers that contributed to that video. What a lovely summary, I guess, of the importance of the work that we do and its role in determining how our future should look like, particularly from a qualitative perspective, where, as we know, the qualitative, it provides the context to the correlation, if you like, of statistics and numbers. And on a personal note, I do love the fact that while we are in lockdown, we do get to see a little sneak peek into people's homes. So the ethnographer in me loves the fact that there's a guy chatting to us with his rock guitar in the background, or that you see the different kinds of artwork that is within people's homes, which is that lovely human aspect, again, of having to work digitally, which perhaps we don't always get when we meet in a boardroom. Now, I think it's time for me to introduce Jenner, the president of Tuad, who represents the organization that has been instrumental in not only selecting the date, but also in convincing us, and we are so happy and proud and privileged to support this date around the world, the 2nd of May, International Market Research Day, which provides us all with a point around which we can commune each year. So Jenna, if I can ask you perhaps to take the microphone from me, it's an absolute pleasure to introduce you to this closing session for APAC.
Thank you, Finn. It's my pleasure to participate this session and pass my thanks to especially Pinar, Kim, of course yourself, and all individuals who really helped us to make this vibrant event for all researchers. Of course, on behalf of all Turkish researchers and all members of Tuad, Turkish Researchers Association, I would like to thank to all Asia Pacific members to participate this event, share their insights, and inspired us. Not only they gave information, but they also inspired us. So once it was a couple of years ago, once we had the idea to have this day to celebrate as an International Market Research Day, we wouldn't guess that it's gonna be this big, Finn. I mean, we were excited, but once we get the word to you, you were also inspiring, and you took it. Your team, your Esomar, took it to this global level, and now we are spreading our voice, spreading the insights for better future, from Asia to United States to America to Europe to Middle East and all over the world. So, I mean, why it is important? Because since we know from the beginning of 21st century, we are not rational creatures. We are rationalizing creatures. And our limbic system, our emotional part of the brain, drives our behaviors more than our conscious processing. Therefore, especially in these days, being emotionally strong is so crucial. Getting inspired is way much more important than to get information. So, and I think this day, this event that took place for 1 week helped us to be emotionally stronger, because we embrace each other, we exchange information from all over the world. Therefore, we feel better. Once we feel better, we can do better jobs to create a better future. So I will not make it too long. And I would like to, again, thank you all individuals, everyone who helped us to get this day to a global level. And I personally thank you, Finn, for great inspiration and for great encourage. Thank you all. Warm greetings from Turkish Research Association. Back to you, Finn.
Thank you, Jenna, for those kind words. As I said at the opening, a lot of the work that goes into producing the sessions that you've seen or that you've participated in over the course of the past week is dependent on people. People who are members of national associations, people who are members of companies, but people who are also our representatives from around the world.
Definitely.
So with that, I'd like to invite back Elvan, who is the Esomar representative in Turkey, to give a few words as well from her perspective on this fantastic week. So Elvan, welcome, and allow me to pass the digital microphone to you too.
Thank you, Finn. It's great to be here again with all of you guys. I'll keep it short. I talked a lot at the beginning of the event, but I'll keep it short this time. I'd like to thank Esomar and Tuad and all the national and international associations who were part of this event. And of course, the representatives all around the world, my colleagues all around the world, because we as a group, Esomar, Tuad, the representatives, the national and international organizations, we put a lot of effort in this event. And it's been a great success, I think. It's been a very fulfilling event in terms of content and personal evaluations, personal contributions has been a lot. I have seen it a lot. I think it was 70 something events all around the week from 30 something countries. So it's very, very enthusiastic for me. And I'd like to say that for next year, I think we should let's make a louder voice altogether in media, social media, because being a researcher, I think deserves a louder voice in especially to our stakeholders. I want everyone to hear that 2nd of May is the International Market Research Day, and this week is the International Market Research Week. So I'm sure we will do it all together. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Elvan, and thank you too for those lovely words.
Thank you.
It's coming, I guess, to that time in this session where, in essence, we need to close off the speeches. But before I do, what I would like to say, a bit like John, there are a number of thank yous that are deserved at this point in the proceedings. Clearly, we need to extend a warm word of thanks to Tuad for coming up with this idea and for putting it front of us, and equally having the drive to ensure that it would be realized. This is a day which for our sector, I think is incredibly important to celebrate annually. And yes, let's try and ensure that those celebrations get bigger and better every year. I'd like to thank all of the speakers, the facilitators, the organizers. I'd like to thank in particular the national and regional associations who support the event and who ensure that they not only have a presence but a contribution throughout the week. And in particular, the number of associations that have arranged not only separate events for themselves and for their members, but have linked it to us, but also those that have ensured that attendees to IMRD could join their events, be that Australia, be it Holland, who will have an event later next week, which is available to anyone who's attended, and anyone else who has done similar things. Most importantly, though, I'd also like to thank you, the audience, because clearly it is important that we as a community commune around this particular date, that we get together and that we ensure that we do showcase and celebrate all of the extraordinary things that we do that do help to build that better future, and that together we are stronger, so that together we can, in fact, build that better future. Kristen, were she to be here, would talk to you about the fact that APAC represents for the rest of the world the future, not just because of the fact that it wakes up in the daily clock much earlier than the rest of us, but because of its history and innovation, because of its can-do attitude, because of all the wonderful things that many, many companies throughout the region produce and generate, from which we, as the sun moves around the world, that we can learn from. Not least of which I think is probably the fact that indeed, had we listened more closely to how Asia has dealt with viruses in the past, perhaps the impact on the rest of us wouldn't have been as strong. So for me, and it is really a huge privilege, I think, for Esomar to be able to facilitate this event around the world, because it showcases all of the wonderful work that you're doing. From me, a big thank you. We're honored and privileged, as I said, to facilitate and to host this session. And again, as a last word of thanks, I would like to be able to thank all of the Esomar team that have contributed long hours over the course of the last number of weeks in ensuring that most things run smoothly. Technology, unfortunately, occasionally does jump up and give us a kick in the backside to make sure that it doesn't work as smoothly as we had hoped. But to them, for all their hard work and long hours, thank you very much. I will leave you, therefore, really with a small video which compiles some of the amazing things that have happened during the course of the past week. Be safe, stay safe, be well, and I look forward very much to when we can meet again in person and hopefully raise a glass or a cup of coffee or a cup of tea and perhaps share some of the extraordinary stories that we've all had to experience during this pandemic. Thank you all very much indeed.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Yener Girişken. I'm the president of Turkish Researchers Association and CEO of ThinkNeuro.
I would like to celebrate International Market Researchers Day and would like to say a couple of things with the theme of this year. The theme of this year is building a better future through insights. So with the research that we have done so far, our main insights that we got is, in order to be happy, in order to build a strong and better future, you have to establish strong emotional connections with your environment, with nature, with animals, with the environment at large, of course, including the people around yourself, your shareholders, your family, your friends, your colleagues, everyone that you touch with. So make emotional connection, enhance it, and be safe and be happy. Thank you.
I'm Klaus from Malogic Shanghai.
我是易普所的石月。
我是零点有数王敏。
我是北京华亚市场研究社的王文丽。
I'm Naveen Williams from Mobile Measure.
我是创能国瑞科技公司的新人。
我是 Nelson IQ 的杨子君。
我是成都达智咨询股份有限公司曾文荣。
我是品创方略的张驰。
我是微信数据的张宏翔。
是勘踏中国的令章。
我是 CMRA 会长赵新宇。
我是节目 Research Adam。
我是易普所的周启群。
我是成都达智咨询股份有限公司朱舒。
我是零点有数张军。
是打电塔的 CC。
我为市场研究行业的小伙伴们感到骄傲。
And I'm proud to work in our market research industry.
我为市场研究行业骄傲。
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 And I believe that data is the new oil.
我为市场研究行业骄傲。
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 作为一个市场研究行业的人员，我感到非常骄傲。
我为市场研究行业骄傲。
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 骄傲，骄傲。
Hi everyone, my name is Alima.
Hello everyone, my name is Oliver Suluwashi.
Hello everyone, my name is Chidi Prudence.
Hello, my name is Olawale Brown Family.
Hi, my name is Tosin.
My name is Olamide Bolaji.
My name is Dada Emmanuel Ifemi.
Hi everyone, my name is Titi.
Hello, my name is Wei Bashir.
My name is Oluwakemi. Happy International Market Research Day.
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 International Market Research Day.
Happy International Market Research Day.
Happy International Market Research Day.
Happy International Market Research Day.
First of all, simply, it's amazing to be a market researcher. Alex from Italy.
I'm proud to be a market researcher.
I'm proud to be an Italian researcher.
I'm proud to be a market researcher.
I am a proud market researcher.